Good morning. My name is Trent Jenkins. Glad to be here with you for the Daily Dose. There's a statement that goes, character is forged in fire. I wish it wasn't the case, but it is. The reality is that most of the great fruit I've seen in my life has been through some awful circumstances. There's ultimately the times I wish wasn't going through those things, but I don't look back in my life and have regrets having gone through those circumstances because I know it's made me the person that I am today. But I wonder if I had caved in those circumstances, who would I be? I wish I could say I've done it all perfectly, but I haven't. I know that there's regrets in my life of how I have handled circumstances, but when I look in hindsight, when I've stuck through and was determined to follow it through how God's asked me to, it's amazing to see the fruit that comes from all of that. We're taking a look real quick at the life of Daniel and his circumstances. He was captured in the land of Jerusalem, brought into Babylon as a slave. He was loyal to God. He was reverent towards him, and he was given much favor in the land, so much so that the king Darius was going to appoint him ruler over the entire kingdom. And we look at chapter 6, and there's a bunch of men that are going to plot against him. They set a law in place that basically no one can bow to another god. Of course, Daniel continues to bow and pray towards God 3 times a day. And we're going to look at what takes place right now. Darius has to follow the decree that he's already put on the books. He has his royal seal on it. He has to follow it. But when he puts Daniel in the lion's den, this is what he says. He says, "The king said to Daniel, 'May your God, whom you serve, continually rescue you.'" He's calling Daniel to his God and for his God to help him. He knows that there's something different about Daniel, and he's hoping with all of his might that something different will take place here. But time will tell. Ultimately, Daniel's put into this lion's den, and I love it because it's like, what circumstance could you possibly survive in a lion's den? These lions were often starved on days on end so that there would be an excruciating death of them chomping on another human. I love how a lion is even made, that the tongue is built in such a way that it's meant to lick flesh off of bone. One lick from a lion, even on a trainer at the San Diego Zoo, leaves a permanent impression. It leaves a wound on a trainer's legs just in that one motion. But when they roll away the stone, Daniel was not touched. Not one touch. And of course, the other administrators are throwing in, and the lions instantly eat him. But Darius issues this decree at the end. He says this. He sends out a decree to his entire land. "May you prosper greatly. I issue a decree that in every part of my kingdom, people must fear and reverence the God of Daniel. For he is the living God, and he endures forever. His kingdom will not be destroyed. His dominion will never end." Isn't it amazing what takes place? The God of Daniel was just this other God in that land. But all of a sudden, the king now claims him as his own when he sees what happens when Daniel goes through the lion's den or being forged in the fire. What would happen in your life if you gave up today? If you went ahead and you just said, I can't handle it anymore. I'm going to go and do things my own way. Would you ever be able to see the fruit? Would you ever be able to see the results? Would you ever be able to experience the incredible victory of the other side? What would happen if you gave up because you're 20 points down in the third quarter and all of a sudden you have the chance for victory, but you said it's just too hard? Then you never get to experience that other side of victory. You never get to see the results of other people in your life and the results of them being able to see your character. You have an impact on people in your life. You have the ability for them to be able to see God in a way that they've never seen it before. All of a sudden, it's not your God, and all of a sudden it becomes their God. I want to encourage you today. Be encouraged. Fruit and victory is just on the other side, but let's keep the course and stay determined. Have a great day, everybody.